What is wrong with my hair? What is wrong with my hair? Hey, so figured we could talk a little bit. Actually, I was heading to bed. It's 12:12. I was heading to bed, and then I suddenly jumped out of bed, and I was like, I have to go live. About what? I don't know. I think I do know, but I kind of don't want to know. I kind of don't want to know simply because I'm kind of just done with the topic. I'm kind of just done. I'm done. How are you guys doing? You guys doing good? Hi, everyone. So, as you guys probably already guess, the topic at hand is the stuff that's going on with the world right now. Is it just stateside that's rioting, or is it, has it become international? Do you guys know? Do you guys know if it's still just stateside? What is wrong with this? Yeah, I saw that. I saw that what was going on in Denver, and all I can say is I'm so glad we've left. I'm so glad, because actually, I have a very, very special relationship with my higher self. I've gotten to a point where I basically do what it tells me to do in a pissed off way. I do what my higher self tells me to do. Even though I don't understand it, I'm like, this fucking better pan out or I'm going to be really pissed. And it always pans out whenever my higher self tells me, to do something, especially with that type of energy. I have to just blindly listen to it. And as soon as they announced the lockdown, I went on realtor.com. We're getting the fuck out of here. We're getting the fuck out of here. And yeah, I think it was, I want to say it was within 48 hours, 48. I think it was within 48 hours. We drove a long ass time, double-digit worth of hours to a farm in the middle of nowhere. Perfect. We'll take it. Perfect. And our lease was not done. Our lease wasn't finished at the other house. We were actually planning to buy that other house. Bougie little house in a bougie little hood. And I was like, this is the first kind of place that's going to get fucked up. When this shit pops off, all the motherfuckers are coming over here to this neighborhood. We're out. We don't need bougie. We definitely don't need bougie. And I think within 2 weeks of finding the property, the farm, we were moved. Because fuck that shit. Mm-mm. So I think what's going on right now, I'm really nervous to talk about this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm nervous. I don't know why. I think we all know what's going on. I think we all know. And if you don't know, I'm going to be explaining it. So this has been going on for a while. What you see playing out right now has been pre-planned for quite some time. Okay? There were a lot of tests that were run over the years, and you guys have seen this test to see how humanity, how our nation will involve itself in atrocities that are witnessed And a lot of contingency plans were made. They whoever they are, they did quite a bit of analytic observation, and they planned quite a few things out. They know exactly what buttons to push to get people riled up. Now, this goes all the way back to Rodney King. All the way back to Rodney King. We as a nation witnessed a man get beat, brutally beat, and they rioted. They knew it had to be taken to another level, that when plans are in place, take it to another level. Brutal beating is not enough. We need to get them to riot nationwide. And so they murdered another man. And they do this after they've already, under the guise of preparing for a need to protect food. Total bullshit, I tell you. Total bullshit. Yeah. National Guard is deployed all over the place at this point. We've all seen video footage of urban tanks being delivered for years now. Conspiracy. I saw this in person too, multiple times. I used to live near Stockton, California, and I remember picking my child up from school, and a ton of fucking tanks, urban tanks, small enough to fit urban streets on train cars. We were sitting there for a good 30 minutes. It was that many that were being transported. And people can say all they want about, well, how else do you think the military gear gets spread around? Thank you, Alban, and she said it. You hear that? Motherfuckers. They found out the Mary account is live. So, yeah, that's what they did. They've been planning this for a very long time. And I said in a live stream on my YouTube, my Facebook page just a few days ago. Even Daddy's handling it. Maybe, I don't know, I want to say maybe a week ago. What ended up happening, I went on a live stream and I ended up speaking a lot of things that I've known about.
You don't be disrespecting me like this, bro. Don't ever call again. You understand me?
He's mad.
You understand? Don't give me no bullshit. You understand? Don't be making up some bullshit, bro. You understand? I don't give a shit, bro. You don't be calling people's freaking.
You should just hang up on him.
Like don't be doing that shit. You understand me?
Because people, if I'm logged into Facebook Messenger, it's nonstop. It's nonstop. It just so happened that I didn't shut off the notifications. And people will nonstop harass me, trying to show me their penis, all kind of shit, you guys. All kind of shit. He's not in the mood today. So he's cussing someone out who's trying to video chat his wife. Who was that? Yo, whoever called tried to say they're working with me. I work alone, mofo. But anyways, they've planned this for a very long time. They've planned this for a very, very long time. And so we used to see these tanks. I saw it in Stockton. I've seen it over by Tracy, California. I've seen it en route to Las Vegas. I've seen it all over. These tanks, I've seen them with my own eyes. And so now everything's in place, and you keep everyone locked down for a period of how many months? You create a lot of tension and conflict because people's lives are disrupted. There's so much uncertainty in the world right now, so much uncertainty in people's personal lives right now. And then what happens? It's like a pressure cooker. It's basically a pressure cooker at this point. And how do you get that to ignite? You find a trigger. You find a trigger that involves racial components, a racial component that has been such a sore subject for so long, rightfully so. And then you do something atrocious. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And so now that everything's in place, all the military things are in place, what do you think happens? It doesn't take much imagination to take it to the next couple steps. And I'm not saying people should not be protesting peacefully about the things that are going on. And honestly, I mean, part of me is just kind of in that mindset at this point of, it's going to take some really fucked up shit. It's going to take some really fucked up shit. I don't want to be a part of that. I really, really don't. And we're seeing it play out. You heard the word illustrate and fertilize. You know, I don't know the exact recipe, but I've watched enough documentaries and whatever. Something about fertilizer can be made into, I don't know, some kind of explosive or something. I'm just like, so illustrate and fertilize. That tells me that I am helping to illustrate that something as benign as shit can become explosive. They will declare. If people can't get in control of themselves, they will declare full on. Full on. And I'm not really tracking it. My son shares things with me here and there, things that are really upsetting to him, because I talk openly with him about some of the things that I'm shown and my thoughts. And he's highly intelligent, highly mature. And so I talk openly with him, and things that trigger a remembrance of previous conversations, he'll share it with me. Like, look, Mom. Yeah. And oh, you know what's crazy? So just the other day we were talking about we're going on 3 months now here at the farm. And today, earlier this evening, he shows me this footage. I'm looking really thrashed right now. What the fuck's going on with my hair? Earlier this evening, he shows me footage of what's going on in Denver. And I'm like, some fucked up shit. I really don't know how to feel about this. Because part of me wants to be there, like, with them. You know what I mean? But then there's this part of me that's like, that's not what I came here for. That part is not what I came here for, not into this life for. So I have to kind of just step back from that. And I was sharing with him how just earlier today, I was running errands and I was thinking to myself, we've moved too early. We should have just finished off the lease at that other house and then decided what to do. You know, we should have just stayed, because, you know, you don't just break a lease without having to pay, right? So I was thinking that earlier today, and then I found myself thinking, you're going to give me confirmation by this evening why I always have to listen. And lo and behold, my son was giving me the confirmation, and I got real quiet. And he pointed out, he goes, wait, we're going on our 3rd month, right? And I said, yeah, we're about to start the 3rd month here at the farm. And he's like, and what you see comes in threes, right? Like 3 months. That's your time frame. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, you're still accurate. That doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better. So I think right now what we need to do is really just um, stop and think. Just pause. One of actually the main reason I got triggered enough to deactivate my Emmie account was I saw someone's post. Um, they are not African American, but their child is biracial, and rightfully so, understandably so. She was very much in an outrage. And I happened to see, I wasn't going to comment anything, but I happened to see someone's comment that I agreed with. I read it, I resonated with it, and I was looking at their exchange, and she was just in her anger, in her frustration, in her grief. Um, she had made a statement of um, something like, what did she say? Once Black lives matter, then all lives can matter. And they were going back and forth. And I totally understood her grief. Like if that was me, and you see the struggle that's gone on with the Black community. I don't want to make this about erasing, but we all have seen it. For someone to say there's no racial component, that's a lie. That's a lie. There is a racial component, intentional racial component. But I was trying to get her to see, like, this is the reason why he's not understanding. You know, when you make a statement like that, like, I'm in full agreement with you, but when you make a statement like that, it makes someone focus on that one misstep of communication, and then they can't hear the rest of the thing. And then she went and attacked me. I was like, and what she was pissed off about was I said, what if maybe, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but what if maybe you just pause and allow yourself to process some of the grief and the sadness? And then she went off with, haven't we paused enough? No. Okay. Everybody needs to be vocal about what's going on, but you personally need to pause because this is affecting you on a very personal level because of your child. Not only are you seeing atrocity, this is really coming home very, very real for you because this could have happened to your child. And instead of explaining to her, like, you're not I was just like, fuck this shit. Because immediately, as soon as she wrote that, I was like, then stay fucking mad, bitch. I was pissed off because why are you attacking me when I'm agreeing with you. I'm just trying to help you see. And so I deleted what I commented. And then I was like, you know what? I'm fucking out of hand myself. This account needs to go. So I deleted it. I deactivated the account. Everything that's going on, because I was just like, all right, let me fucking piss you off too then. I can only take so much, okay? But here's the thing, I shouldn't have even commented. That's the whole Piscean thing of let me help. No, girl, ain't nobody even asking for your tag me in. No, you should have just not commented. So and it wasn't that I deleted it because of her. I deleted it because I realized I was being triggered beyond what I could tolerate, what I could control. And I just don't want to be that person anymore. I don't. And so I had to let go of the account. But I see, if I use the term false flag, people are going to be like, wait, so you're saying that? No, I do believe he was murdered, but I do believe it was categorically a false flag. Long time ago, when they first started really testing out the false flags, seeing how the American psychology would react to it, there were a lot of faked scenarios where there weren't actual injuries, there weren't actual fatalities. A lot of actors, and in the conspiracy circles, there's this one girl on a phone. She always crying every fucking event. You're there. Girl, how do they have you on? Like, what the fuck? They couldn't get any other actress. and then as time progressed, the very truth of a false flag, the reality of it, it's an actual event. The people who die, the people who are injured, the people who are affected, collateral damage. That's all they are. Not to me, not to me personally, but in that scenario, it's collateral damage. So we're seeing a lot of byproducts of collateral damage. It's fucked up shit. It's fucked up shit. Really, really fucked up shit. And we all should be pissed. All of us should be ready for war. But should we actually go to war? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Many of us have become so detached and alienated to such a degree from basic life skills. Growing your own food, working together, firearms, proper use of firearms, proper storage of firearms. I've been reading a lot of stuff on my social media accounts about how the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, those weren't gifted to us. Those were declarations of things that the government can't take away from you. And that's something important for us to know. That's something very, very important for us to know. Do I think the coronavirus is fake? No, I'm pretty sure people are truly getting sick. There are some people who are also dying from it. That was the impetus. Create intense fear. Create some sort of deprivation. How many of you have not been able to sleep because of all the stress from the start of all of this? How many of you? How many of you are existing in extreme states of fear? How many? I know I'm stressed. I'm not afraid, but I'm stressed. Like, what the fuck are they going to do today? What other bullshit are they going to force us to do today? And a lot of people are just like tired of it. Tired of it, And when you get to that point, little thing sets you over the edge. Takes you totally over the edge. Yep. Pit people against each other. It's much easier to control. You don't have to have as many eyes when you can turn people against each other. They'll snitch each other out. Very reason why I'm on acres. I don't need to see my neighbors. They don't need to see me. It's just crazy. Denver decided, no, that's a lie. There were peaceful protests that were scheduled in Denver. And from the article that my son showed me, within 30 minutes, there were something like 6 to 8 shots fired towards the Capitol. These are agent provocateurs. These are not protesters. This is something that has been shown time and time and time again. People come together to have a civil, peaceful protest, and then agent provocateurs. These are previously military, sometimes law enforcement. These are people who are trained, okay? They are trained, tactically trained, and they come with their tactical gear, dressed in civilian clothing, and then they start shit. Something that begins as peaceful, they'll start looting and encourage other people to loot. They'll start fights. They'll bring weaponry, start shooting, and then that gets everyone all riled up. Of course, if you hear gunfire, the police department has to then gear up in riot gear and bring out their toys. So it's just a lot of shit going on in the world. I think my husband told me it's in Minneapolis, Denver, I think he said like 3 other places. And I was just like, this world is fucked. This world is fucked. Yes, Antonia. They want us to react so they can attack us, and they keep continuing to make us look like the bad ones. Yeah. So if you want to win this, you have to play a different game. If you're trained in tactical defensive and offensive maneuvering. What ends up happening if they don't play the game? Okay, so you're highly trained in boxing, right? You're super trained in boxing. You're amazing at it. And you're going to have a boxing match. Only problem is your opponent does Muay Thai. You're fucked. Yeah. Your opponent does grappling. You're fucked. You know what I mean? It's like that. Who are they? Use your imagination. Who do you think they are? Who is that proverbial they? I don't feel scared. I just feel over it. I just feel like, y'all don't play into this shit. I'm fucking hella pissed myself. I would love to be at those protests myself. I'm not allowed to be. I'm not allowed to partake in the, not because a human being is telling me. I know I'm not allowed to go to those things. I know that. So, yeah, just a lot of crazy things going on in the world. A lot of crazy things. I'm wondering if, what's your full legal name, Simi1? Give me your full legal name and I'll tell you. And I want you to email me your ID so I can see that it's your actual full legal name. What does it matter who I think they are? Who do you think they are? Who do you think they are? This is not a channel telling you what to think. I'm not going to tell you what to think. You have to decide for yourself. And I'm going to be honest, there's something about your energy, about the way you're asking, and it looks like it's just a simple question, but there's something loaded about that. There's something very loaded about it, and I don't like the way it feels. Oh, see, my Instagram is all like working out. I ain't got nothing on my Instagram showing me. It's my son showing me stuff. Let me see. Yeah, and you guys, I'm fully aware that there are those who are paid to go on live streams and try and trigger types of conversation that will flag my account for demonetization and for shutting down. I don't think so. I don't think so. I may sometimes play like I'm stupid, but I'm actually not. Yeah. I want her to say specific words that will trigger algorithms. Like that shit. But yeah, I feel like we're kind of at a point where we have to be very honest and very real about our thoughts. It's just, you know, one of those things where do I just keep quiet and not share my personal thoughts and my personal opinions? And it's one of those things. What's the effect of that afterwards? What's the effect? Do I just later like quietly to myself, I knew it, probably should have said something? I don't think this is one of those times where I should do that. And I think probably it's because the whole point of me sharing these things, the whole point of it is to encourage you guys to kind of just pause. Not pause in your anger about the atrocities that are going on in the world, but pause and think about how you um, how you're going to act on those feelings. So it's 3 little words. How do you find that offensive? Because I don't just read words, I read energy. That's my job. That is my profession. It's just 3 little words, and I know you find that, abrasive, but I'm not here to play by your rules. And I'm just answering your question, so if you find my answer abrasive as well, maybe this is not the channel for you. Is that clear enough? Okay. So, that's the thing. Um, I do read energy. That's part of my job, and I read the energy of the things that are going on. That's not good, guys. It's not good. It's not good. If we can take back our personal power, meaning not allowing other people, not allowing circumstance to cause us to uh, behave in a way that's not authentic or in alignment with our truth. You can be angry, that's fine, that's a human emotion, but to act upon that rage in a violent way, that emotional rage in a violent way when you're not a violent person, that's concerning. That's very concerning. To me, that kind of speaks of emotional manipulation. And we as a nation are being emotionally manipulated. We are. We have been for a very long time. There's lots of videos that show how all of the news is orchestrated, that news anchors from different regions are reading the same script. It's insane. I'm like, wow, is it that coordinated? Is this TV programming that coordinated? Yes, it is. This is not my fresh water. Oh man. Yes, it is coordinated though. It's totally coordinated. And this is just a system we exist within. Um, am I encouraging for full on like civil war, revolution? Maybe internally. Maybe internally we each have to have that moment of a revolutional um, epiphany. I think it's time. Um, and I think we really have to let go, at least for a time, with such an emphasis, let go of the emphasis on the race issue. It is an issue. This is not about ignoring, but it's it's such a huge way to emotionally manipulate, to cause people to behave in a way that is not organic to them, to be filled with such uncontrollable rage that you end up choosing actions that you later regret. You know, something has to change. We have to be vocal. We have to make it known. This is not okay. This is not okay. We are unified in this. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um Yeah, they do sensationalize and cherry pick to get more views. And it's all about their advertising dollars. And if they don't get the right amount of viewership, then they lose their sponsors. Their sponsors won't advertise with them anymore. And, you know, we all know how it works. It's a business. Absolutely. It is almost impossible to not let it trigger you in some type of way. And that's why I'm like trying to remind people, just pause first. I'm not telling you not to be mad, not to be triggered, but as best as you can, just pause. Take a moment. You can verbalize, but before you actually take action. Pause just for a moment. Think about it. Just think about it. Let's see. There was a comment. Hold on. Twin Cities is nearby. I suck at geography. Gosh. Are you able to witness what's going on? Crying can help sometimes. Crying can help. I don't know if it was just a few miles away from me. I don't know. That's probably why my higher self was like, girlfriend, pack your things, you're moving. Because I tell you, if that was like a 30-minute drive from me, baby, I'm going to the store. I'd drive my ass right there. Oh my gosh. I'm really trying not to keep I'm trying not to follow how the looting and stuff are progressing. Honestly, Marcy says, I just believe the energy we can pull together, we can fix this. I'm not supposed to. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. The whole purpose of me going live so much for the past 3 years, the whole purpose of it was to try and shift the consciousness so people would not choose to manifest this particular thing. This is a choice right now. This is the effect of a previous causation. And for a second, this was cleared off the table of potentialities. I'm not here to prevent this. Once it's chosen by the people, I'm not here to prevent it. Unfortunately, I'm here for a rebuilding and cleanup. I mean, unless enough of you speak to your higher selves and get your higher selves to be like, no, no, we don't want this. We want a refund. Hey, that's not impossible when it comes to the realm of higher selves, higher consciousness. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Oh no, I want to be clear. I'm not asking you guys to ignore what's going on. Okay? We're not to ignore this. No way in hell is this to be ignored. There needs to be an uproar, but a peaceful one. And we have to make sure that we don't allow ourselves to be baited into things that are just what they want. Because you know what's going to happen, right? My understanding for quite a few years now, part of what's supposed to happen, and this is not necessarily information that I downloaded from the aether, but what I saw when I was really, really into conspiracy theories, I shared this in a live stream on my Facebook page just, I don't know, I think it was last week. But from what I remember, I had pieced things together, and I, from the information that I found, I could see the plotting of certain things and the timeline of things. So our military would need to be overextended and mostly overseas. which is kind of where we're at right now. And then they would need to somehow create such a huge divide between law enforcement and citizens, because really the military was supposed to exist to protect our civil liberties, to protect our constitutional rights. That was their purpose. And that's why you always hear people say you need to thank a soldier for your rights. It's because of soldiers that you still have your freedom. They fight for your freedom. They give up their life for your freedom. It's yes, your constitutional rights. That's why they are supposed to. That's what they are supposed to protect. So first, we need the military pretty much gone, and anyone who understands what happens when you experience war, working in a war zone, seeing casualties of war, injuries from war, that fucks with a human brain really badly. So notice how after our soldiers serve our country in its expansion of empire, because that's what we're doing. We're not spreading democracy. We're expanding empire. Let's be honest. So after they come home from that, they have to fight to get their benefits to be taken care of. Most of them are not. Most of the homeless population are vets with psychological disease issues, things like that. No one gives a shit, right? No one gives a shit. Oh, that's just a homeless man. You ever stop and talk to a homeless person, ask them what their story is? How'd you become homeless? What was your life before this? Most of us don't do this. Most of us don't. And so you'd think that, well, that's fine. Even if our soldiers are overseas, we have so many vets here, they'll defend us. Not when they're homeless and no one's given a shit about them for how long. You think they're going to protect you? Some of them still have that that valor of like, I'm going to defend my country, but most of them feel betrayed. Most of them. And so since military can no longer do this for us, the next thing that I saw they were going to do is alienate law enforcement, because what's the next layer of protection? Law enforcement. You need to alienate that. It needs to be, oh, those fucking pigs. Some of them are. Some of them are. A good number aren't. Okay, a good number aren't. But when you have such hatred towards the whole of the industry, because it's an industry, you think they're gonna stick up for you? So what's left? Up until this point, if you talk about, joining a militia or whatever, everyone thinks you're crazy. Everyone thinks you're crazy, right? From the time I was a young child till now, the attempts to disarm the American people has been tremendous. You just take a look at the state of California. They take away all kinds of options. Granted, fully automatic weaponry is kind of like a little overkill, but they have had such a huge agenda towards long barrel rifles, especially the AR-15. And you wonder why. Because that's a type of tool that would be effective in order for you to protect your constitutional rights. So take that away. There's a reason the founding fathers of this nation made the Second Amendment what it was, what it is. Out of all the amendments, second only to what? What's the First Amendment, you guys? What's the First Amendment? This is now a classroom. It's second only to one thing. And so many of us. Free speech, exactly. So you could be like, motherfuckers, we need our guns. That's why. So you could be like, look, they're plotting on us. They're plotting on us. I mean, that's dramatic, but it's only second to free speech. That's got to tell you something. When a group of men trying to establish a country, a nation, they've just freed themselves from all kind of tyranny. They didn't really free themselves. We're still paying war reparations to the queen. All of that was bullshit too. But stay focused, girl. Yeah, no, you're not disarming me. I don't think so. I'm a peaceful person. But you're not disarming me. And you have all these people, that is just an infringement on my right to a feeling of safety. Well, am I brandishing a weapon in your face? No, get over your fucking self. Get over yourself. You're not going to take away my right because you're uncomfortable. You have every right not to have weapons in your home. I have every right to legally purchase and properly store my belongings. You don't get to trample on that shit. And it's crazy because now even the people who are so vehemently, no guns, everyone should be disarmed. Motherfuckers, I know you was buying some guns 2 months ago. I know you was buying some guns. You know, it's just crazy. It's crazy to me because going back, I digress to the state of California. They took away so many different options. They took away your ability to get that firearm in, basically a timely manner. Like you have to wait. Well, I think it was like 30 days. I think they've increased it. I don't know anymore. I don't care. And now I'm hearing you also have to get a background check for ammo. That's crazy to me. That's just crazy to me. All of the things going on in the world right now. Exactly, Molly. You can kill someone with a hammer and a screwdriver. Why don't we take away all prescriptions? Because so many people have died from prescription medications. Why don't we take away all the cops? Because so many people have died at the hands of the police. Why don't we take all, it's just everything. You guys, we are not children. Why do we insist to be treated as such? Why is that? Girl, I think anywhere but California is kosher. If I'm going to be honest with my personal opinion, all my family's in California, so I better just hush my fuss. But there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things we have to take into consideration. There's a lot of things. And you can't allow yourself to be crippled by fear. Definitely not there. But I don't know. I don't know. Because we weren't taught, not in school, and distracted with spending our time and our career and money. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. If you look at that, the career and the money, these days you can't, it's so hard to get even an entry level position outside of food service and retail. It's hard to get even an entry level position without at least a BS degree. Now, on average, what is the average? Let me give you actual numbers. So most people go away for college, right? I'm seeing the average cost is about 30 grand, give or take a few grand. That's the average cost. Oh, wait, no, that's the cost. What? Well, I don't know. Okay, yeah. So about 30 grand. So fresh out of high school, you have to go to college because you're going to be a fuck up if you don't. You can't afford that overly priced house if you don't. So, fresh out of high school, you have to go into college and you have to just hammer away for what, at least average about 4 years to get your BS degree. By then, you're $30,000 in debt just for school. That doesn't include the debt that you've accrued because, of course, you want to take your little trip because you want to unwind from school. You want to do this, you need that. So, by the time you're out of college, by the time you get that BS degree, you are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. All before you even know who you are and what you actually want to be. Ain't that some shit? So at this point, you're trapped. You have to work. You have to work that 9 to 5. You have to. It's some crazy shit. Let's see. Throat punch. Oh wow, Marcy. I'm just, we are not the land of the free. We aren't. We are the land of the serfs. Do you guys know what serfs are? Serfs are the people who are so indentured. They are indentured servants. They're given permission to exist on that land, but the debt is so heavy they can never actually buy back their freedom. And if we think, no, I'm not a slave. What are you talking about? I own my house. Actually, no. You're leasing the structure from the bank until it's paid off. And that's just the structure. You don't own the land that structure is built on. That you're renting that from the government. And what are you talking about? I'm not renting the land from the, oh yeah, you are. It's called property tax. That's your yearly payment for that land rent. And if you think you own anything that's in that land, you have no water rights. You have no mineral rights. So if they find, I don't know, some kind of precious metal in your backyard, fuck you, bro. That's not yours. Stay in your house that you're borrowing from the bank. Y'all didn't know that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Emerald, yes, that's right. The IRS is not part of the federal government. Yep. The CDC is also a privately run for-profit corporation. They're not federal. I don't know if you guys know that. And they make most of their money through vaccines. Just so you guys know. Ooh, Elijah, your mother is a genius. As my mother had said before, your SSN is your prisoner number to society. Think you're free? Ha, think again. Exactly. If you have a social security number, that is your commodities number. You are chattel. We are product. Yeah, I mean, and if these are concepts that are new to you, you can look into things like straw man. You can look into legalese, just all kind of different things. You can really dive into the rabbit hole of. Yeah, and if you we live on land, yet we abide by maritime law. Yeah, and when law enforcement stops you and asks you, do you understand? That means you're standing under their jurisdiction. No, I do not understand. Do you understand? No, I do not understand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, girl? Mandy, I've been thinking for days now. I don't have money to buy an island, but I was just thinking, Lord Jesus, sweet baby Jesus, Santo Nino. If you could just, I never ask for things. If you could just give me an island, chill island, no one else around. You could put a little Trader Joe's there. I don't even need the Trader Joe's. I just need a couple of their snacks. um, do not let anyone bully you into submission. Yeah, that's true. See, CPT Unicorn. I believe in true world peace, not corporate authoritarian peace. I mean real peace. It's within our grasp in our lifetime. I don't know, because I'm kind of extreme at times in my thoughts and my opinions, and to me, in order to achieve that true world peace, it would need to be anarchy. Most people don't like that. And until that's fully established, barter systems and things like that, that would be utter fuckery. It would. Total fuckery. A lot of people probably would not survive that transition into anarchy. They probably wouldn't. Let's see. It's time to relocate. I don't know where you're gonna relocate to. I'm at the point I just want to pack up my kids and take off to Canada and move. Oh, that's a good idea. The mountains. Yeah, you see a lot of what? Girlfriend, don't tell me that shit. Palawan got islands for 250K. Is that pesos or is that dólares? I'm asking for myself. Seriously, don't tell me that shit. But Palawan has a lot of malaria. I don't know if y'all know this. They're very big with malaria. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. You'd rather move to Mexico? Honestly, what I would rather have is for everyone to just calm the fuck down. That's what I would rather have. Haleakala? I'm assuming that's in Hawaii. It seems many of us want to move now. But the thing is, I understand that because obviously I moved. The thing is, where are you going to move to? Where are you going to move to? Any other city? Any other city is the same. It's the same. Ooh, that's awesome you have the option. I believe I still have dual citizenship as well. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Ooh, don't tell me that. I might go to Armenia. Mountains, easy to. Are you familiar with how to survive in the mountains? What about when winter comes? Is that see, and that's the thing, you guys. If you're having these really like powerful ideas of if things fall apart, I'm gonna just take off into the mountains. I'm gonna go into the forest. If you're not familiar with how you probably gonna die in there, not joking, you're probably gonna lose your life. So many of us have been so far removed from how to exist with nature. Many of us would probably die if we do that. Oh, I can handle winter, if I have electricity. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Girl, I need to get my tooth pulled too. Like, what the fuck? Right before I go to get my tooth pulled, they fucking close all the dentist. Ah, this shit. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. I was like, just pull them all. Just in case this shit takes a lot longer than I need. Just pull them all. We'll be fine. We just put something else in. Yeah, I have some pretty intense digestive issues, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have the proper nutrients absorbed. I didn't absorb enough nutrients to really have good teeth. My teeth are soft, so I get cavities very easily. They reject fillings. I'm over this shit. You don't know how to be a cave woman? I do. um, yeah. I for and my mom used to make fun of me, and she's like, "Are you a mountain girl?" Fuck yeah. She used to say, "Oh, you're a mountain girl." Fuck yeah. I didn't say that though to her because she'd be like, "Oh, what are you?" Filipinos, you're not supposed to use bad words with your parents. You get the shit slapped out of you. That's why I use so many bad words now. I'm making up for my younger years. I don't know, guys. This is just I would love for the world to be okay again. I really would. I would really love for humanity to get a hold of itself and just figure itself out. You know, I think people haven't figured themselves out, and that's part of the problem. Because if you don't know who you are, you're run by so much fear. Your ex-boss said not to shit where you eat. You also need to dig a hole if you take a shit. You bring a little spade with you. You dig a hole, you shit in the hole, and you cover that bitch up. um, Remineral. What the fuck? I looked into that and I was worried because I'm very sensitive to all sorts of things. And I was very, very worried that I would die. No joke. I looked into that for quite a bit. um, what game, Rhonda? I don't want to play the game. I take a hard pass. I kind of feel like I want to take a hard pass right along with you, but I want to make sure we're talking about the same game. Oh wow. That's pretty awesome, Molly. That's pretty awesome. I come from a third world country. I was born in a third world country. I'm just saying. That's in my genetics. I'm damn hard to kill. Unless, of course, you're going to fuck with chemicals. You probably kill me really easy. Probably going to kill me very easy. Yeah, no joke. Yeah, well, I could swear, but it would have to be where it's a very elevated emotion and it's not at them. It's just kind of like, like a sentence enhancer. That was kind of overlooked. But my God, my mother is not a violent person. She's never spanked. I don't think she's ever spanked any of us. I'm pretty sure she'd take her shoe off and slap the shit out of me. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking for refuge in the woods. Time to get land. Oh, thank you, Carmela. Yeah, our fear, it becomes our prison. Our fear becomes our prison. Oh, liver is a superfood. You know, you guys are going to think I'm so nasty. It ain't nasty. I'm third world, remember? Okay, get over that shit. I'm third world. That's gonna be my thug name. Where's third world at? I'm right here, bitches. Okay. Anyway, so you guys are gonna think I'm so nasty because I love like gizzard. Chicken hearts are super chewy. Y'all, I'm gonna vomit thinking about that shit. I used to love that up until, I don't know, maybe like a couple years ago. Up until a couple years ago, I love that shit. I'd be like, fuck yeah! Gizzard is so good! And I'd be chewing it like gum and shit. And then I don't remember who cooked. I think it was at like, I don't remember where we were at, but I happened to get a piece of that chicken liver, just a little crumble. I was like, what the fuck is that? Is that liver? And then I was like, what happened to you, third world? You're not so third world no more, are you? Yeah, no, I came from a family that's, um, I'm first generation. So you can't be like, I don't want that for dinner. My mom be like, you better eat that shit. No, she wouldn't say that. What she would say, all seriousness, you're not American. Eat that. That's what she would say. And I used to be like, because I don't want to wash the dishes. So less things you use, less things to wash. And I would eat with just a fork. And they'd be like, where's your spoon? I don't need a spoon. You're not white. Okay, I'm getting my spoon. You gotta eat with a fork and a spoon. Because your ass ain't white, girl. You ain't white. I was like, what does that even mean? Y'all, if you know Filipinos, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta have the fork and the spoon. Another time I ate with just a fork. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Fuck, let me get my spoon then. I'm so not joking. Like traditional Filipinos, they have no problem reminding their children, "You're not white." I'm sorry, I didn't think I was. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, and I also used to be told, "You're not American." I was like, "What the fuck? What is that? Why are we here then? Why are we here?" Yeah. Hmm. So there's a lot of like, Filipino pride. Like, you better act Filipino. Don't be selling out to this American shit. Well, that's just like my, interpretation. There's this Filipino dish. It's kind of like a stew. It's a little bit thick, and it is like a black color, kind of like chocolate. Some people call it chocolate stew, and I used to love that shit. You guys want to know what's in it? You want to know the ingredients? I'll tell you the ingredients. So you take like pig ear, I believe the spleen as well, pig spleen. You also do the intestines, and you saute that, and then for the base to make it into like a stew, you get some high grade pig blood. And if it's jello-y, that means it's old blood. It's not fresh, because what happens to blood the moment it touches air, makes contact with air, it congeals. Oh yeah, sometimes they put cow tongue in it. Oh no, I think that was just my mom. I don't know. She made some shit with some. I saw her. I might have been like 7 or 8. I thought she was peeling fruit in the kitchen sink, and I walk up behind her and I look, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It was a fucking cow's tongue. I was like, "Mom, where did you get that?" She goes, "From the store." fucking store did this. Yeah, it was a cow's tongue. And I think Mexicans also have la lengua, right? I've never tried that. I never ate cow's tongue before because I saw my mom preparing it and I was like, I'm not fucking eating that shit. And we kind of have this unspoken rule in my family. If you don't like the food that's cooked, then starve. And I really got no problem with starving. I could wait a day or two for that to be finished and I'll eat whatever comes the next day. Yeah, no, but the blood stew is called dinuguan. Yep, that's what it was. You guys add gelatin to blood? The blood just congeals on its own. It becomes a jello on its own. Y'all, this is nasty shit, right? So I'm just saying, if you think you gangster, if you think you're hood, I'm third world. They don't compare. Where I come from, hood is high class. Just know the level of cray. Know the level of survival here. I'm just fucking around, you guys. I'm just fucking around. You enjoy Joe. Joe Coy is hilarious. Hilarious. And the shit that his mom does. The shit that he says his mom does, that's just across the board. That's Filipino, like, across the board. My mom was a seriously talented charge nurse for the NICU. She was so talented that they tried to promote her to management, I think several times. And what ended up happening, she said, no, you want me to be responsible for other people messing up? So she said, no, I'm perfectly happy where I'm at. I was like, that's crazy shit. But yeah, I was a very sickly child. I was a very, very sickly child. I almost never went to the hospital. I almost never went. Put some Vicks on it. And like Joe Coy said, you put the Vicks on the foot, and the Vicks will pull out the. Yeah, no, it's. You should watch it. You guys should watch it. Filipinos have so much in common, culture-wise, with Mexicans. Filipinos have so much in common. My mom would make chicken noodle soup for us too, and she'd give us Sprite or 7-Up. And then if you were really sick, she would get you the Mexican parfait. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The Mexican parfait that comes in that like parfait shaped plastic container. And sometimes it's just red. Sometimes it's all like rainbow. But if you're really sick, that's what they do. And our chicken noodle soup, it has milk in it. It has milk in it. Yep. Milk. Yep. It's like, even though you're a nurse, that culture comes in and it's like, all we need is Vicks. Okay. I remember, man, I was a kid. I was maybe, I want to say I was in kindergarten. Or maybe first grade, but I found my mom had taken home a scalpel. Y'all already know this is going to be a fucked up story. So I was like in kindergarten. My mom took home a disposable scalpel, and she figured that would be a good cutting utensil for when she cooks. Oh, I figured that would be a good thing to fuck around with. So to make sure that I didn't get to it, she put it very high because we had this like it was like a wall, like a half wall that separated the rooms, and there was maybe like 2 feet gap from the ceiling to that half wall. So she put it up there. Like a grown adult, you can stand on your tippy toes, you could put it up there. And because I'm a fucking genius, I went ahead and I got the stool. No, no, it was a kitchen seat. Hmm. I put it by the wall. I climbed up. I made sure her ass just came home from a 16-hour shift. I wasn't trying to get caught. I made sure she was good and tired from her 16-hour shift. And I could hear her snoring. And I climbed up there and I didn't even bother getting off the seat. I was like, fuck yeah. And I was holding it, right? And it has like a plastic sleeve that goes over. It's just like a flattened plastic tube that covers the actual blade. And I opened it. I was like, yeah. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have anything to do. So I shoved it back in the sheath. Only problem is I shoved it too far and the tip was sticking out the sheath. And so I was like, fuck, she's going to know. And I was struggling. I was struggling to separate it. And I couldn't do it like this. So I figured if I hold it like this and I pull it, oh, I remember this shit, girl. I was like pulling it, pulling it, pulling it. And then I don't know what happened. I think I got frustrated and I yanked it real hard. But instead of yanking it out, I yanked it down. One of these deep lines is from the scalpel. It went all the way across, like it wasn't a straight line, thank God. And I was like, I should put this back now. So I put it back up, and I was still standing on that fucking chair. And I was like, and when you open your hand like this, it opens. I was like, oh no. I don't want to tell her that I did this. Oh my God. So I was like, I can keep my hand like this. I would probably take like a week. I keep my hand like this. I will keep my hand like this. And I was like, it's talking to me. And I didn't tell her because fuck that shit. I don't remember how I healed it. I don't remember how I healed it. It's healed. It's I think it might be this line. I think it might be this line. Because it went, and I was like, oh. Yeah. And then another time, I watched a commercial on TV of the white women going back to when I was a little girl and we were not allowed to be white according to my parents. I don't even know what the fuck that was about. But I saw of like a commercial of some woman shaving her legs, and I was just like, that's what white people do. And my dad kept his razor in the shower. And I had the bright idea of shaving my whole body. You guys, it's some crazy ass shit. I shaved my forehead. I shaved my cheeks. And then I pretended I was a man. I shaved my beard all down my neck, my chest, my arms, everything. You guys, I even shaved my toes. And then I was like, let me just do one last one because I was copying the commercial. Do one last one over my shin bone. And I slice about this much, that long of my skin, like the top layer of skin with the blade. And I was in the shower, I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. And it wouldn't stop bleeding. And I was in there And I was like, we just need to have it clot. And I was little, you guys. I'm so medical. It's ridiculous. I just need to make it clot. I just need to make it clot. Oh my God. That shit would not clot. It wouldn't clot. And so I had to get out of the shower with the blood dripping down my leg. And the only thing I could think of, I didn't want to tell them that I was shaving my legs. I didn't want them to know that I had shaved my whole body. I even tried to shave my back. I didn't want them to know I was trying to shave my whole body. And so I went into my parents' room and I'm like, just think of something, just think of something. And I made myself cry and I was like, I don't know what happened, but your cutting thingy, it fell, and then it cut my leg. Y'all, how the fuck is that gonna fall and cut this much of my skin off? And then my poor parents, my dad felt bad. He's like, God shit. My mom, I told you to put that away. That's dangerous. And I was like, I'm not saying shit. Let them argue about that. I'm not going to admit I was trying to be white that day in the shower. I don't care what happens. I will never admit to this. So I distinctly remember in that shower, I think I want to say I was in second grade. I just need to make it clot. And I was apply pressure. Because I used to read my mom's manuals from work. I used to read her manuals from work. And I remember there was like a first aid portion in something. Apply pressure. And I guess I wasn't applying pressure long enough. And it didn't help that the shower kept washing away the clot. But so, yeah, you guys, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. And when I cut my hand, I was like, oh, my ligaments. Y'all have no idea. I was a weird ass kid. I was weird AF. I was like, my fingers are functional. I just got to keep my hand like this. Y'all. It was too much. It was too much. And, I was the calm one of the family. I was the well-behaved one because I definitely remember one of my brothers. We're Asian, okay? We have access to Asian fireworks, firecrackers. So we had firecrackers, and I want to say I was in fourth grade at this time. My brother, who I played with a lot, had this bright idea. He told me to put on our older brother's thick jacket. Y'all already know where this is going, right? He told me to go to the backyard with him. He wanted to show me something really, really cool. It's a magic trick. So he gets me to go to the backyard with him. He tells me to put my brother's Pendleton on, like a really thick one, and to turn my back. And he gets out a firecracker. I'm like, what are you going to do? He had me stand right by a pile of our dog shit. Y'all know where this is going. I'm like, what are you going to do? He goes, just stand there. And I kept looking back. And he goes, just stand there. It's a magic trick. He lit the freaking firecracker, and it was like a birthday cake on a pile of shit. And he takes off running. I'm like, what are you going to do? He goes, don't go, don't move, just stand there. And then boom, and I was like, okay, nothing happened to me. And I was like, oh, what was that? And then I looked back and the shit was gone. I was like, where did it go? He goes, it's a magic trick. It was all over me. It was all over me. Little chunks of shit all over me. Y'all. Y'all. You ain't lived till you seen a magic trick like that. Yes. It is the best. It's the best. I was like, oh, it's gone. It's gone. Mm-hmm. And I, you know, it was too much. My life is too much. Oh my gosh. It was a good magic trick. It like, ta-da! It was gone. It's gone. I don't have it. Yeah, y'all. Yeah. Yep. And the funniest part was we did it to a few more bottles of caca. Y'all, we probably should have lost some fingers and shit growing up. I have no stitches. Oh, that was another thing. It's this thumb. It's this thumb. I almost took the tip of my thumb off because my mom kept talking to me about how I'm going to cut my thumb off while I was cutting. And I'm like, I know how to use a knife. Okay. I know how to use a knife. And I was cutting it like this. I was going like this to it. And yo, she fucking distracted me. I went to turn and look at her and tell her, stop nagging me. And then it was stuck. It was a paring knife. And it was just, I was holding my thumb like this. Oh, that's fucked. Because the knife was stuck in it. It was stuck in it. And it was bleeding profusely. It was a whole flap, like this whole section right here. No, she didn't see that. She caused it. If she would just go back to sleep like I told her to do. I was like, just go back to sleep. I'm fine. And no, I was grown this time. That was just in like, what, 2016, 2015. I was grown as fuck at that point. And so the paring knife was just like this. I was like moving my thumb around, and this is the knife stuck to my thumb. I'm like, that's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked. And it was stuck in my nail. Luckily, my nail was there, or else it would have just took the whole thing off. And so I pulled out the knife, and I was like, oh, it's wide open, because it went in at an angle. And I was like, I'm fine. And then I told my husband, because we were in a hotel room, I told him, can you just go down the street and go buy some super glue and some Band-Aids? We got this. And what ended up happening, him and my mom for like 2 hours. Why are you so stubborn? Just let us take you to the ER. You need to go to the ER. I was like, I don't need to go to no fucking ER. It's just a little flesh wound. For 2 hours. And I filled that shit. I didn't know it at the time. You're not supposed to put the super glue in the wound. No. You're supposed to use it to bond the outside. So it hasn't fully absorbed. I have a ball of super glue in my thumb. So after 2 hours and a full bottle of super glue in my thumb, and my mom looked pale already. She's like, putang inang. She was cussing. Go to the hospital. I was like, fine. Since you guys won't be quiet. I knew it was fucked at that point. Since you guys won't be quiet, I'll go to the fucking hospital. So we go to the ER. Actually, the video is on my Facebook. If you look through the videos, it's a very old video. It's on my Facebook business page, my Emmie Evolving page. I'm allergic to lidocaine, novocaine, the entire cane family. It's probably having something to do with Michael. Cain was not a good soul. So I'm allergic, like deathly allergic to the cane family. Hence the reason I've been waiting to do my teeth. I don't really feel like dying. Let that shit just be yanked. Just yank it with nothing. But yeah, so I told them I'm allergic to it. Are there any other options? They're like, sorry, no. So I was like, oh, okay. And I recorded them cleaning my wound And I don't know, the guy was cleaning it like I had some kind of numbing medication on. And then the doctor came in to stitch it. And, he was like, it's just a little bit odd that you have no reaction to the pain. Yeah. So I think I had 2 stitches right here in the tip. No lidocaine. And like a week later, I started a full gut job on the RV with my thumb fucked up. And that happened in Colorado, and I had to gut the RV in California. And so I started gutting the IV. And I remember they told me after 7 to 10 days, I needed to go back to the hospital to have the stitches removed. I put that in my calendar. All I need is some tweezers and some eyebrow scissors. You just got to snip it and pull. That's it. I'm not waiting. I'm not going to the doctor for this shit. Snip it and pull. Just like eyebrows. Pull. That's all I did. And then I went back to cutting the RV. Yeah. But no, I'm allergic to lidocaine real bad. Real bad. Yeah. And I found this out because I had suspected I was going through like anaphylactic shock when they were working on my teeth. And they said I was just nervous. And I'm like, I'm not nervous. I feel like I can't breathe. Like it feels weird. It feels like someone's choking me inside my throat. And they're like, no, that's just anxiety. Okay. You say so. And then I think it was like a year or so later, I had to, what were they doing? They were taking like some sort of biopsy or something. And I had told her, my OB, I think I'm allergic to it. And she goes, no, you can't be allergic to that. And I was like, I think I am. She goes, no one's allergic to epinephrine. She injected my cervix with epinephrine and lidocaine. As soon as that entered my bloodstream, I felt it go up my spine, and I felt my brain expanding, and I felt my eyes rolling back. And then I felt like I was going to die. And I was like, I don't feel too good. And she took my pulse, and all I remember was it sounded like we were in a long hallway. And I heard her screaming, 46% at 144. I heard her screaming, grab the cart. She's about to code. And I was like, I fucking told her. That's my life, y'all. And then after I didn't die, she was like, we might want to put that in your chart. I suspect you're allergic. You think, bitch? You fucking think? Maybe? Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, you already tried. I didn't die. So just go ahead and do it again. Finish off whatever biopsy and let's figure this shit out. Yeah. Y'all. I'm just something else. Mandy, the shit train. Oh my God, dude. Okay. You guys, I just realized the time. I gotta go. I've been on for an hour and a half. So, going back to the original, I know, I'm not a regular person. I'm just not. I'm not. Yeah. So, you guys, it's okay to allow yourself to be pissed off. It's okay to allow yourself to feel so much anger that it's classified as rage. But before you act on that, just pause. Just pause. Ask yourself if whatever you're planning to do is in alignment with who you are, what you're here for. It's just a lot of stuff going on in the world. A lot of people are going through the things that they're going through. And when we experience the witnessing of such atrocities, it's hard not to be triggered. It's hard not to want to rage. It's hard to not be of the mindset of burn it all down. But what does that do? Nothing. It doesn't do anything. We do have to be loud. We have to be very, very vocal in our demands of a correction. The appropriate amount of justice must be served to the people who are involved. There has to be changes in policy and procedure. A specific group of our family of humans that needs to be rebalanced. That needs to be rebalanced. It's time. It's time. We have to begin seeing their pain as our pain, because having seen that footage, I didn't see it as a Black man was murdered. I didn't see it as a human being was murdered. I saw it as, that is one of my brothers that I never got a chance to meet. My family was murdered. And if we begin seeing it in that way, pretty sure we're not going to tolerate it anymore. It's not even about race at this point. It's about our human family. You know, we're a human family. And we all have that one cousin or sibling who is just a big ass fucking problem and liability, but you love them anyways, don't you? Would you allow someone to do that type of thing to your family? No. Mm-mm. And if we can just stop with all the racial stuff, because when we do that, when we make it like, constantly a Black man was killed, a Black man, such an emphasis on Black. Yes, he's Black. But when you do that, when you follow along with that narrative of emphasizing that it was a Black man killed by a white cop, it then just becomes, oh, that's the Black people's problem. And it's not just the Black people's problem. It's our problem. That's one of the most horrible things when people classify it as a race. Things that happen is it's a race thing. Because then it doesn't become your problem. Right? It's someone else. Well, you're not Filipino, so that's because you're not Filipino. Well, that's because your ethnicity does that kind of thing. No. That type of thinking has to go. And whatever happens to the world, it's what we chose. It's what we chose. And it's the way we needed to learn this lesson. We got to learn it at some point, because I'm tired of taking this class over and over again. I'm really tired of it. And this is not a single person test. This is a group project. We're being graded as a group. And unless all of us begins to cooperate and fully participate, we're probably going to fail it again. But I think maybe it's finally to a point where they pushed it too far. And although they wanted to create a reaction in order to implement the next stage of the plan, I think they picked the wrong trigger. I think they picked the wrong trigger. Yes, the military has had time to be properly placed. Yes, they've had time to prepare all that's necessary, the tools, the equipment, machinery, whatever it is, they've had time to prepare. But guess what? In the past 2 months, gun sales have gone up tremendously. In the first few weeks of a lockdown being announced, in just one gun shop that we went to, they told us they've made in that like week or two the amount of sales they would take an entire year to do. Depending on where you live, people are ready. And if people are not riled up over the abuse of a race, um, they sure as hell will be if you declare martial law. Quite a few people are armed within their home. You guys see where this is headed? If we allow it to continue, if we allow ourselves to continue to feed energy into this, we want to avoid this. We want to avoid this. We want this to be resolved in the most peaceful way possible. I've seen so many different potentialities of how this plays out. And honestly, no matter how it plays out, I have no say in that. There's a reason I was instructed to go to a farm nowhere near anything. It's 7 hours one way to a Costco. 7 hours one way. That's a 14-hour round trip for Costco. Not all of us can be hidden away. So we have to do what we have to do to encourage everyone to try to calm down, not to not be angry. We're not trying to convince people they shouldn't be angry, because we should all be so fucking angry. Every single last one of us. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your tax bracket is. Every single last one of us should be furious. But we should encourage everyone to channel that intense energy into a productive thing. And if enough of us can calm ourselves and help other people to calm themselves. Again, being calm does not mean you are not mad. I'm mad right now, but I'm calm. I'm very mad right now, but I'm calm. And if we can reach that state where we can be very mad enough to no longer just accept this, mad enough to no longer just see this as, oh, poor Black community. That's the most fucked up shit that I've ever heard. Seriously. So we need to do whatever we can to begin helping ourselves really understand what's going on. No matter what type of option we've selected, nothing is ever set in stone. Nothing is ever set in stone. This is why I can't say I know the future. It's never set in stone. We always have the option to shift the way the events occur, the details of those events. And the trajectory that we're on right now, it's very close to worst case scenario. Very close. Very close. And if we can just remember within ourselves, I'm not selecting that option. I refuse to accept that as my potential reality. And that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Throughout the day, when you think about these things that piss you off really bad, all of the horrible things going on in this world, I refuse to accept that. I will not accept that as part of my potentiality. Say that over and over. And if enough of us refuse that, if we focus our energy on that, a lot of change can happen. We're still going to have to go through a transition. And for the people who like to dismiss what's going on with, oh, but you know what? There's less emissions and Gaia's healing, and we needed this. Shame on you. Shame on you to make such a callous, inconsiderate comment. We needed this man to be murdered? No, we didn't. We didn't need that. But we refused to do the internal work. And that was the effect. We needed it. For all your love and light bullshit, the truth of who you actually are comes through when you try and convince other people, this is what we needed. Now, we as a human whole, we as a human consciousness, we could have selected a different way to learn this. We didn't need this. We chose this. From a series of poor life choices. And when I say life choices, poor life choices, I'm talking about our decision to be complicit, our decision to be quiet, our decision to support all of this atrocity. It's just... things change all the time. Eventually we get through this phase, hopefully with no more nothing. Hopefully we get through this phase with just the strongest of us, the bravest of us walking in the streets peacefully, protesting. And for those who have nothing nice to say about the peaceful protesters, I'm not talking about the agent provocateurs. I'm talking about the peaceful protesters. I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm not going to hold against you that you are too afraid to think for yourself, that you still choose to continue to be complicit in these crimes against humanity. I'm not going to hold that against you. It's your fear that keeps you from truly accepting the truth that's before you. I recognize it's your fear that keeps you from rising up, keeps you from allowing yourself to see what's really going on in this world. And that's okay. That's okay, because I understand these people are not just protesting for themselves. They're protesting for all of us. They're being the voice for those of us who are too afraid to speak. And for that, we should be thankful. We really, really should. So you guys, I'm going to head to bed now. Theoretically. Probably not. But yeah, I've been live for too long. I hope the things that we talked about in this live and the silly stories that I've shared help you to process a little bit more, to release a little bit of that anger, and maybe come up with more productive things to focus on. Okay? I love you guys. Good night.